Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to play Home on the Range. Home on the Range is a lovely, slow western waltz. It's long been one of my favourite tunes. It was written by Brewster Higley and Daniel Kelly back in the 1870s, and it fairly rapidly became adopted by cowboys and settlers, and I suppose you could say this has become a genuine traditional western song. It became the state song of Kansas. It was sung and recorded by Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers. Roy Rogers, of course, being one of the early and most famous singing cowboys. And in his band, the Sons of the Pioneers, which was a really good band, amazingly still going, although without Roy Rogers, he had Hugh Farr on the fiddle, who was a real excellent fiddle player. It's well worth checking them out, and as I understand it, the band is still going, although they've left a few bodies along the trail. So I'm going to give you two versions of this tune. The basic melody is very simple, and that's what I'm going to give you to start with. And then I'm going to give you a nice double stop version, which you heard at the beginning here. And this is a very good example which demonstrates that no tune or song is too easy or too hard. A tune is what you make of it. So here is the... Actually, we'll start with this little introduction, which is not strictly necessary, but it's quite nice. It's a kind of a yodeling fiddle thing. So we're starting off with 1, 2, 2, and then keep your third finger on, and put your fourth finger on the A string, and then 3, 2, 2. One more time, 1, 2. Now that is not easy. It's a tricky bit of fingering, but if you do want an intro, that's probably the one you should go for. Okay, then we go straight into the chorus, which goes 1, 2, 3. Into the verse. If you're playing this solo, then do not be tempted to cut short the long notes at the end. Tap your foot or have an imaginary band going in your head, because it's something everyone is tempted to do when playing solo, is to cut short long notes and kind of skip a beat to get into the next bar when the next thing happens. Try not to do that. Let's do all of that just as we did it then with the backing. Verse. Okay, now what is wrong with that version? Well, quite a few things. One, it has no kind of Western feel to it because there are no double stops, no ornaments or anything like that. So it's a kind of a classical view of Home on the Range. And more importantly, you're not doing anything to show the changing of the chords. So in the verse, we've got this. You can't hear the fact that it's going from F to F7 to B flat to B flat minor. And those are lovely changes. And if you can incorporate those into your playing, it'll sound so much better. As usual, I trawled the internet to see who has recorded this and who's got a good fiddle version of it, and was surprised to find that there's very little in the way of good versions of this with people doing proper double stops on it. So whereas had Johnny Gimble, for example, recorded this, then I would definitely have copied his version of it. But I couldn't find such a thing, so I have done a set of double stops myself. And I've tried to show where the chords change. I've also incorporated a lot of what I call the scale of sixths. That kind of thing, where we're playing the melody with a melody on the top and the harmony, one string down and a sixth down, which is the same as an inverted third above, if that makes any sense. So the whole scale would be that, but because the chords are changing quite a lot, you can't do that all the way through. That would only really work if there were just a 1, the 4 and the 5 chord. So I've used that in places, but I've also tried to incorporate all of the sevenths. So when an F goes to an F7, try to get an E flat in there. And when a B flat goes to a B flat minor, we put in the flattened third. So that kind of shows that change. And generally you try and find the internal melodies or the lines of direction that the chords are implying and incorporate those into the double stops. So let's go slowly through this. So we're starting off with that scale of sixths. We're not going to do the intro. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Right, let's just do that second line. So we got an F on the top, a D underneath. That F is going to stay there for 4 notes. And we got a scale running down like that. And it's going to be 3, 2, 2. And that is keeping your second finger on. You take your first finger off the E string. And that's a G with a B flat under it. So the top line is, and the bottom line is, and that's an example of what I call an internal melody. So that's taking from the D minor to the G7 to the C. Okay, let's just go up to there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now going up, that's a scale of sixths. Keep that D on. Now keep your B on with your 4th finger and bring your 3rd finger down. And then scale of sixths. Let's do those 2 lines. Okay, into the second half, the verse, and we're going to go down an octave here. So we're starting off in first position, and then either a fourth finger over a third, or a second over a first, and then up to third position, 1 over 3. Keep your 3 where it is, bring your first down. Keep your third finger down. And you're going from second finger, first finger, first finger. Now here's the tricky bit. 3, 2 over 3. And then up to third position, second finger, and you bring your third finger next to it. And then fourth finger in the third position. So that's 3 over 2. 3 stays where it is, 2 comes down. Let's just do that line. So in this line we're going from the F to the E flat, to the D natural, to the D flat, and in the next bar to a C. And that's an example of an internal line which is implied by the chords, and that's the kind of thing that you're aiming at with your double stops. We're finishing off with a bit of the scale of 6. So let's do all of that with the backing. So this would do very nicely as a solo fiddle part, or if you were playing with a band and a singer as your solo break. And if you can do some of these double stops but not all of them, then by all means do some of them and leave some of them out. Or if you can think of anything fancier, then by all means have a go at that. These things are entirely up to you as to how you deal with double stops and complications of the melody. Take it up to the level of playing that you are comfortable with, and not beyond when you're performing, although it's good when you're practicing to try stuff that's just a little bit too difficult for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to get hold of the sheet music for this, do just subscribe to the channel, send me an email and I will send you a copy. If you'd like to get hold of all of my PDFs in one go, then do join me on Patreon, and that will help to support the work that I'm doing creating all these videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.